I'm on, hun. I'm on, hun.
Mm.
Hello, ladies. Hope all is well. Hi, Bonnie, Rise, Jean, and Joanne. The gang is coming in. I'm glad you're excited about this one. I hope you love it. So easy to make. You're going to be able to make loads. And it's 7 o'clock. I'm going to get started. Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday, and welcome to my Facebook Live at 7 o'clock. And tonight I've got a really fun project that I am very much looking forward to sharing with you. Before we get started, I just want you to know that all the instructions and the video tutorial for this project and all my projects on Tuesday nights are available on my blog. And my blog is www.thewexfordstamper.blogspot.com. And by the end of the evening, I should have all the information up there on my blog for this evening. Hi, Cheryl. Nice to see you. And as also, I will have a PDF, although this isn't the PDF for this evening's. There will be a PDF there this evening for the Hydrangea Hill card box that we're going to be making this evening. So you can find that there as well. And if you haven't already, make sure you go to my business page on Facebook and like my page. And I just looked at my YouTube channel and I have 299 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, go to YouTube and just search the Wexford Stamper and you will find me right there. I would love for you to subscribe. I put on videos at least once a week, sometimes more. And I just love sharing ideas with you. Yes, the PDF has been a big hit, Cheryl. Thank you so much for the thank you. All right, so let's look a little bit at the project we're going to be making tonight. My project started with this project, and I knew once I had time to get this on my Facebook Live that this paper would not be available anymore. This is paper from the celebration, and I used it to make this card box. But I knew that by the time I got it out, I wouldn't be able to get this paper. You would not be able to purchase this paper or get it free. Celebration was over in February. So I decided I was going to grab some of the paper that is available and make something just like it. Okay, so what I'm going to do this evening, I am going to give these two boxes away. All right, so if you would please comment and share, I will give these away to two of my viewers and I will announce them next week. So I'd love if you could please share with people that you know enjoy paper crafting. And I will pick some names this evening and I will share the winners next week for one of two of these beautiful card boxes. All right, let me show you the one we're making this evening. This is the one we're going to make this evening, which uses amazing paper. And the paper is from the Hydrangea Hill Suite. And it is amazing. It is a beautiful set So many great embellishments. It has a stamp set and a set of dies that goes with it. But what I'm going to be focusing on this evening is the beautiful paper. This paper is just amazing, so beautiful, so spring-like. I'm just really, really loving it. And I don't even use the stamp set and the dies for this. It's really just the focus is on the paper. And I do some fussy cutting and cut out some of the images from the paper instead of using stamped images. And another thing that I use that I absolutely love is this tri-color paper. I mean, ribbon. You look at this, ladies. I'm a purple girl, and look at this ribbon. It is to die for. So that ribbon actually is in the annual catalog, but I love it so much that I added it to really any purple project I have. I just love it. So that is something else we're going to be using this evening. All right, so let's take a closer look at my box. All right, let's open it up. It is kind of like a book box. Now this side of it, it has a pocket. And I thought in this pocket here, you could put some stamps for whoever the recipient of the box would be. You could make up some personalized return address labels and put them in there. Anything could go in there. So that's a little pocket there that they can hold some things. A little address book maybe would be something you could use. You could actually probably make a little address book using some computer paper and a piece of designer series paper, and they could put that in there as well. Now the cards fit in this side, and I'll take the cards out, but there's a little pocket on the side of the box, and that is how the cards stay in there. Now these are our cards. We're going to make one of these this evening as well. If you watched last week, I made the vellum front cards right here, and I'll show you real quickly how I made these. And those are included on the PDF as well. Okay, so I made 4 cards here. You can easily fit 4 cards and envelopes in the box. All right. So let's go ahead and close the box up and we will get started. Let's make the card first. All right, this card comes together very, very quickly. All right, let me get my measurements here quick. All right, for the cardstock portion of the card, you're going to need a piece of cardstock cut at 5 1/4 by 5 3/4. And on the short side, you're going to score at 1 inch. Okay, I've already scored there, right there, and that's going to kind of make your hinge on your card. So I'm going to just take my bone folder and go over that. Okay, so that is kind of the hinge on the card there. All right, yes, it does. It helps them stay in. I love that design when I saw it. Okay, next we're going to do is we're going to bring in our vellum. Okay, now remember the vellum is available in the Paper Basics section in the annual catalog. And this is not just any vellum. This is gorgeous vellum. In fact, it's called vellum cardstock. So it's real nice and sturdy. It's not, you know, the typical kind of vellum that's very thin. It does a great job if you'd ever want to do any heat embossing on it. It can take it. It can go through the Big Shot, anything like that. So this is called vellum cardstock. So it's a little better than your average vellum. All right, so I'm going to take my piece of vellum here. I'm going to grab my Tombow. And I'm going to put a little bit of Tombow here on the inside of this 1 inch panel here on the left-hand side. Okay, then I'm going to grab my piece of vellum. Now the vellum is cut the same size as a front of a card base would be. That's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm going to line it up. It's going to go right up to the fold, and you want to make sure that it's lined up at the top and the bottom. And then you're just going to fold the hinge over. Okay, and just push it down like that. And then you got the card front all ready to go. Okay, now I also cut out another piece of the Gorgeous Grape. I don't know if I told you that. This is Gorgeous Grape. And this is to place right here to kind of give your inside of your card a little bit of a cleaner look. You can see a little bit of the glue there, and me being my perfectionist self just didn't like that. So I'm going to put a little glue on this 1 inch by 5.5 inch strip, and I'm going to put it right over the area there that the you could see the back side of the vellum. All right, so there we have the basic card skeleton. Okay, we'll call it that. All right, now let's grab our other pieces here. Okay, this is the piece of designer series paper I chose. Such gorgeous paper in this hydrangea set. If you don't buy anything else, get the paper, because you can make some amazing projects just with the paper. Okay, I cut a old olive rectangle at 3 by 4.25. I cut a basic white rectangle at 3 by 4.25, and that's going to go on the inside, and we'll talk about that later. And then I cut this piece at 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. Just an 1/8 inch smaller instead of a 1/4 inch smaller on both sides. I just wanted to have a tiny little border around this because I just wanted my paper to be the star of the show here. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my designer series paper right on my piece of old olive. And remember, when you use the Tombow, it gives you a little time to move things around there. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place this on the front of my card. Okay, and what I do in order to not have any glue showing through my vellum cardstock, I am just going to adhere this part of the card right here along the edge of the gorgeous grape cardstock. So I'm going to put just a thin line of Tombow right along the left-hand side of this panel. And then I'm going to bring it in here and I'm going to put it right on the front of the card, making sure that the border all the way around is exactly the same. Okay. And see, now when you open the card, you're not going to see any glue on the back there, and it's going to hold perfectly for you. Okay, now here's the trick for the next part. This is the section that we're going to put inside that's going to have the sentiment or your writing or whatever you would like to do on the inside. Let me show you how you do that. You open up your card all the way and you place it. Actually, let's do the glue first. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of my basic white card. Now, if you wanted to have something stamped on here, you probably would want to do it before you put your glue on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead with the glue facing up. I'm going to line it up so that it's exactly behind that piece of old olive cardstock because they are the same size. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to close over the back side of my card and press down. Okay, now I can open my card and there is my inside panel, and you can't see it from the outside of the card. So that's a little trick that you can make sure that it is positioned right in the right spot and it's covered by the panel on the front. Super easy. Okay. Now, the last thing we're going to do here for the card is a little embellishment on the front. I'm going to use this stitch circle from the Stitch Shape dies. That's a mouthful for me tonight. Now, what I did here is I fussy cut a hydrangea plant out of one of the pieces of the DSP in the stack. There's so many beautiful images in this set that it's so easy to find something that you can fussy cut and put on a card rather than doing any stamping. All right, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this and I'm going to adhere it right to the front of my card. Okay, now remember, I want to keep the glue in this section here. I don't want to get any glue on the vellum because you'd be able to see it through the other side. So I just kind of put it in the corner there, and I'm going to cover that spot with my stitch circle. Okay, so there we go. Isn't that gorgeous? All right, the last thing we're going to do, I'm going to make this a happy birthday card. And I'm going to take a strip. This is a 3/4 inch strip. I'm going to take my gorgeous grape. And we're going to give this a try and get this stamped on here in some semblance of straight. Okay, let's see. That's pretty good. Oh, looks pretty good. All right. Then I'm going to bring my card back in. I'm going to grab some dimensionals, and we're going to stick it right here on the stitch circle, and I'm going to kind of have it going through the middle of the circle. I got to be careful where I put my dimensionals. Let's see if that's going to be right. I have to move them. Nope, I think that's going to work. All right. I'm just going to have it go right through my beautiful embellishment here. And there you have the birthday card. My last little touch, I'm going to grab some of the snail mail twine. If you have got the snail mail, any of the snail mail suite, they had some white baker's twine there. And sometimes with my cards, I love to put a little bit of a accent along the fold of the card. So I'm going to put the baker's twine through the fold and bring it up and around the outside of the fold. And then I'm going to tie a bow kind of up here on the left-hand side. Okay, now I'm going to do a little bit of floofing. All right, bring this one down. There we go. And then I'm going to cut these long ends way more than I needed. But rather it be way too much than not enough. All right, so there is the card. So this is the way I made the card, the cards that are in the box. I made 4 of them. 4 with envelopes will fit very easily. All right. So, all right, let's go ahead and we're going to get started on the box now. Okay. Make sure I have my notes here so I know what in the world I'm doing. Okay, let's go ahead and make the box first. All right. The box consists of this piece, which is the cover of the box that closes like a book. And this is cut at 6.5 by 10 3/8. Okay. And then the box portion where we slide our cards in, this is at 8 by 7.5. All right. So let's go ahead and work on our cover first. Okay. I'm going to bring in my scoring tool. Remember, all these numbers and this video will be on my blog at the end of this evening. All right, so what I have to do here for my cover, I have to score at 4 3/4 from each end. So 4 3/4. Then I am going to flip it to the other side and 4 3/4. Okay, so that's all for this. I'm going to grab my piece for the inside box here while I have my score out here. Now, on the long side, which is the 8-inch side, okay, I'm going to score at 3/4, 5 1/4, 6. Okay, on the short side, we're going to score at 3/4 from both ends. 3/4. All right, so that's all our scoring for this evening. Oh, thank you, Rise. This is a real easy one to put together. I was thrilled at how quickly they come together. All right, so let's bring in our two pieces. Let's bring our cover first. Okay, I'm going to bring in my trio punch, and I am going to use my corner rounder. This, you don't have to do this, but I just thought it looked so much prettier with the rounded corners. Hope I'm not making it jump too much. I can see myself jumping. Watch out for the earthquake. So that is really all we need to do as far as trimming for my cover. And so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to grab the piece of paper that I have chosen for the cover. Okay, this piece is cut at 4.5 by 6 1/4. Okay, that's going to go right here on the front. Before we adhere it, we're going to go ahead and cause one more earthquake. We're going to cut the outer edges and round those. Okay, so that's going to go perfectly on the front there. Let me flatten this out here, turn this over, and we'll go ahead and adhere the DSP to the front of our beautiful box. Look at that paper, so pretty. I just love the colors in this paper. Okay, all right, so let's put that aside for now. Put him over there. Let's grab our box, and I'll show you how quickly this comes together. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to fold in, not fold in, but fold on all my score lines. One more here. All right, now how this works is we're going to make a box without a lid, but we're going to have a section that comes over like this on the right-hand side so that we can slide the cards in, okay? So I'm going to get my snips here, and we're going to cut up these two vertical score lines to make a little tab here. We're going to cut up this one score line to make a tab here and do the same on the top. Okay, so you're going to look for the squares, and you're going to cut so that they loosen up and can be little flaps. Okay, I'm also going to take my snips and cut a little bit off each of the tabs so they fit inside the box nicely and don't interfere with putting the cards in and out and such. Okay, so I'm going to do that here, and I'm going to do it here as well. All right. Okay, that's all we need to do for the box. I'm going to now turn the box over. This is going to be the outside of the box. So I'm going to take my Tombow, and I'm going to put a little bit on the 4 tabs that I cut. Okay, and then we're going to build our box without a lid. Okay, so let's turn it back over. We'll do this outside portion first. I'm going to fold down the flap, and I'm going to line up the side panel with the fold and just hold it there for a minute. Let's get it in the right spot there before we hold. That's what's great about Tombow. You have a few chances to get it in the right spot. Okay, now my finger's stuck to that. That's not good. All right, and then we're going to do the same over here. Fold it down and behind. And we're going to hold that there. And we're already forming our box. Okay, now we're going to make the other side, and we're going to fold in our 2 little flaps just like we did on the other end. Okay, lining up the fold with the edge of the panel. One more time. Okay, so it's just like we're making a box without a lid. Okay, now we have this extra piece here. That piece is the panel or the portion of the box that's going to fold over so that we have something that will hold our cards in place. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the inside of this panel and fold it over and then push them down so they can adhere to the side of the box. See, like that? And there you have it. Okay, there is the box for the inside of our card box. And I have a sneeze that won't come out, so hopefully soon. All right, now we're going to go ahead. There it was, thank you. We're going to go ahead and make the pocket. Let me bring in my sample. And the pocket is over on this side here. Okay, and as I said, this is something where you could put a book of stamps, you could put some personalized labels, you could put a tiny little address book, which is something I just thought of, and I think that would be super cute in there. So I'll show you how quick and easy it is to make this pocket. All right. You start with a piece of designer series paper. Now I picked a pattern from the pack that was the same as the front, but you don't have to do that. You can pick any coordinating sheet that you like, and that'll work fine for your pocket. Okay, so here is my piece for the pocket. This piece is 10.5 by 5.5 inches. All right, so I'm gonna grab my scoring tool one more time. We're gonna put that piece right in here, and you wanna make sure that if it does have an orientation, that it is, the top of the paper is on the left-hand side. Okay, and you'll see why you want that to happen in just a minute. Okay, now on the long side, we are going to score at 6 1/4 and 9 3/4. All right. Yep. And then we are going to turn it the long way, or portrait. And this way we are going to score at 1/2 on each side. So 1/2, and we're going to turn it the other way. One half. Okay, let me put my scoring board away here and show you how this pocket comes together very, very quickly. All right, let's go ahead and take my bone folder. We're going to fold over all our score lines, and we're going to use the bone folder to crease them. And then we have these edge ones here. Okay, and one more over here. Okay, now what you're going to need to do is you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut along this line here that we made on the 1/2 inches on the other side all the way down to the first horizontal. Okay, so let me see the best way. I think I can see it. It's kind of hard to see. I think I can see it best this way. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut from the top all the way down that score line to the first horizontal and cut it off. Okay, then I'm going to do the same thing over here. Some of you might want to put it in a trimmer to make sure it gets cut, but I'm fine with just doing it by hand. So I'm going to cut all the way down. I'm cutting off this 1/2 inch strip just down to where the first horizontal strip is. Horizontal score line is, sorry. Okay, now watch how we put our pocket together. The pocket is going to come up like this. Okay, and then this part is going to be turned down, and then these are going to be folded to the back, and adhered to make the pocket. All right, so let's start again here. We're going to fold it up from the bottom. I'm going to put a little bit of glue here under that piece that we flop over. Okay, then I'm going to turn the entire pocket over. I'm going to put some glue on these two sections that stick out on the sides, and those are going to fold over to form the pocket. So let's fold that one over. And this one over. Now I'm going to turn the whole thing over and push down. And there it is. That's how easy it is to make that little pocket. Isn't that so adorable? And you don't have to worry about how neat it is in the back because we're going to be gluing this to the inside of the cover. So let's go ahead and get started on that part. Okay, I'm going to bring in our cover, okay, that we worked on, and get those over there. I'm going to open it up, and your pocket is going to go right here on the left-hand side of your cover. All right, now I notice here I didn't trim very well, and I might have cut a little bit too soon. I can just snip that a little bit. I didn't cut that close enough to the score line. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put Tombow on that. Who loves this design? So easy to put together. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere it to the inside here. Okay, it comes pretty close to those rounded edges, but it's okay. It fits. Now you have your pocket to put your stamps or whatever you'd like in there. Okay, now we have our box for the other side. Okay, this is just going to go right on the right-hand side like that with Tombow. Okay, so I'm going to grab the Tombow. This is a project that would best be made using glue. And you know how much I love glue, so it's not a problem for me. But I know many of you like the Seal Plus, but I really think this would be a great idea to use the Tombow. All right, you want to make sure you have about the same distance around on all sides of your box. Let me grab my card I made. And that's going to fit right in there along with the envelope and 3 or 4 more cards. And then finally for the inside, you want to make sure you have your piece here that goes on the panel there. And that is cut at, let me find this, I have it in my notes. 1 3/4 by 5 3/4. Remember, all these directions, dimensions will all be available on my blog. There will be a nice PDF to download. So just think of all those fabulous papers you have in your stash that you could make a little gift box for. So many. All right, so there is the inside of the box, all done. Oh, thank you, Jean. I'm glad you love it. All right, so now I'm going to close it, and we're going to finish up with a little bit of embellishing on the front. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is grab this gorgeous grape label. This is from the Happy Hippo labels. You know how much I love those hippo labels. And I am going to use a stamp that is actually from the To a Wild Rose. Okay, this is one that is in the annual catalog. I just love, this would be a great gift for a girlfriend. True friendship is one of God's greatest gifts. That would be a great little saying to put on the front. So I thought that would work fabulously. And then I thought, and it would be even more fabulous if we did some embossing, some heat embossing. All right, so I'm using my embossing buddy to get the static off there. Then I'm going to grab my Versamark, and Versamark, if you don't know, is kind of like a sticky ink that almost acts as a glue. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and take our saying and get the Versamark on there. Then I'm going to try my best to get it in the middle. Okay. You can't really see it. You can kind of see it. It looks a little darker, but we're not finished yet. We're going to grab our white embossing powder. And I store it in a little container like this to try and keep the mess to a minimum. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I'm going to try. And I'm going to take and hold my label here, and I'm just going to carefully pour some of the powder right down over the sticky letters. Okay, I can see a spot where I missed. And then you want to tap it and try to get off as much as you can. And then you may need to use your fingers to get the little extra off that is a little stubborn. And then I like to tap it. And then there you have your embossing powder just in those places where we stamped with the Versamark. Okay, now we're going to make some magic happen here. Are you ready? This is my favorite part. I'm going to grab my heat tool from way over here. This is a little noisy, so just want to warn you. And I'm going to go ahead and take my heating tool, start getting it heated up. I'm going to hold this down here so it doesn't blow away with my scissors. And I'm just going to take the heat tool down onto. And what the heat tool does, it melts the powder, and it gets very shiny, very bright, almost like a plastic on your cardstock. And it's not going anywhere once it's done. But it really, really makes it stand out. Look at that. See how pretty that is? So nice. All right, let's go ahead and get that onto the front of our box. I'm going to put that on with some dimensionals. Oh, I'm glad, Jean. I'm glad you like it. I'd love to see if you made it, if you could post it on my VIP page. I'd love to see what you guys come up with. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and take those backings off here. And I'm going to glue this directly on to the front of my box, maybe a little higher, centered this way, a little higher in the vertical. Okay, and then I did the same trick that I did with the card with this one as well. I grabbed some of the beautiful paper and I fussy cut a beautiful hydrangea plant from one of the pages. I'm going to go ahead and put some of these dimensionals towards the bottom of the hydrangea image. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue here on the top because that's where it's going to touch the gorgeous grape label. All right, let's see. How about there? Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, two more little things to finish it off. And you know how I was raving about this beautiful tricolor ribbon. It's time to put it on, ladies. Let's do it. So I'm going to go ahead and take my tricolor ribbon. And I'm going to put the knot of the ribbon right onto my glue dot. Grab my pick tool. That lets me get my bow without touching it and getting my fingers stuck on the glue dot. and then I put it right down on the top portion of the label. All right, and last but not least, we're going to take some of these gorgeous opal rounds, which I love. If I can get them out of the package here, girls, hold on. There we go. You can see how few I'm down to. These are opal rounds. These are in the January to June catalog, and I'm going to go ahead and find 3 of these. These are so pretty. They have a real iridescent type color to them. They are perfect for absolutely any project. They work with any color, making it very, very easy to decorate. One more. Let's put it over here by. There we go. All right. So there you have it, ladies. There is our gorgeous card box. How easy was that? So simple. I'd be so anxious and excited to see if anybody else makes one. You could use any designer series paper you might have at home and give it a try. So don't forget to go to my blog later tonight or later on in the week, and you'll be able to grab that PDF and watch this video tutorial over again if you need to. Okay, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel as well as my business page, the Wexford Stamper. I hope you enjoyed it this evening, and if you are wishing for so many of these products and you don't know where to start, there is one place that would be a great place to start. For only $99, you can become a part of my fun and exciting team of stampers. And you don't have to be somebody that's going to sell. You can be a happy shopper, because everyone that joins will get at least a 20% discount on all their purchases, as well as a lot of fun with a great community of stampers. How about it, gals? We have lots of fun. All righty, so thanks again for joining, and I will see you next Tuesday evening with some more fun spring 3D projects. So join me again next Tuesday. Have a great week, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.